Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Rajouri district to celebrate Diwali with the army troops guarding the line of control. Prime Minister Modi directly flew to the army brigade headquarters in the border district to interact with the troops who have been deployed along the line of control. Well, this is for the third time that the Prime Minister visited Jammu and Kashmir to celebrate Diwali with the troops in the border state since 2014. And this is his first visit after the abrogation of Article 370. So, grand celebrations of Diwali. Well, the Jawans were delighted to have Prime Minister Modi amongst them to celebrate the festival.
प्राइम मिनिस्टर से मिलकर बहुत गर्व महसूस हुआ हमारे भारतीय सेना को और हमारा उन्होंने गर्व से ऊंचा कर दिया। देश के लिए बहुत कुछ उन्होंने बोला और कहा कि हम अपने परिवार के साथ भारतीय सेना के साथ गर्व के साथ दीपावली मना रहे हैं। मैसेज दिया कि हम देश के साथ डटे रहेंगे और कोई प्रॉब्लम होने से और प्रोवाइड करेंगे। बहुत अच्छी दीपावली हम मनाया प्राइम मिनिस्टर के साथ। बहुत ज्यादा गर्व है आज हमें। पाकिस्तान आज हमारा डाउन है, उसका मोरल डाउन कर दिया हमारा भारतीय सेना ने।
So, the Jawans celebrating with Prime Minister Modi. My colleague Adarsh joins us over the phone line with more details on this. Well, Adarsh, this is a tradition that Prime Minister Modi follows to celebrate Diwali with the Jawans. And this year, of course, for several Jawans, they are celebrating the festival away from their family. So, to have the Prime Minister amidst them definitely comes as a big boost.
Indeed, Pratibha, what you're seeing right now is indeed a huge moral boost for the army Jawans in Rajouri of Jammu and Kashmir. And this, in fact, is Prime Minister himself keeping up with his tradition of celebrating the auspicious occasion of Diwali with soldiers. He's been doing so since the last 3 years, and he's been going to Rajouri and distributing sweets to the army Jawans himself. Now, again, this, in fact, comes at a time, this visit that we're talking about of Prime Minister Modi to Rajouri, to Jammu and Kashmir, in a sense, is the first after after Article 370 was revoked in the valley. That apart, in fact, Prime Minister Modi's visit is also coinciding with Infantry Day celebrations, which is in fact observed to mark the landing of first Indian troops in Jammu and Kashmir. This happened back in 1947, and this very Indian set of Indian troops, first set of Indian troops, was responsible to push back Pakistan-supported intruders back in 1947. So it is indeed a very historic day. It is a momentous occasion, and it is Diwali, and hence it can't really get bigger and better than this. And this, in fact, is overall, if we were to look at it, this is the 6th time that the Prime Minister has visited Jammu and Kashmir to celebrate Diwali with the troops in the border areas, back from the time when he was the Prime Minister in 2014. Now, in fact, Prime Minister Modi has started this very practice of interacting with troops, serving in some of the most challenging areas in Jammu and Kashmir on Diwali, after taking over as the Prime Minister in 2014, initially when he had spent his Diwali in the Siachen area of Ladakh region with the Jawans. Apart from that, he also spent time in the past, back in 2014, when there were a lot of floods that had hit Srinagar. So he was even there, and he even visited the flood victims. So this is again keeping in line with what he's been doing. This is not first of the sort, but this really is a gesture that army Jawans in the region, who really battle with such tough circumstances and with the kind of ceasefire violations that constantly take place from the other side of the border, this really will act as a morale booster for the army Jawans located out of tough areas, Pratibha.
Absolutely. And also others, Jammu and Kashmir, of course, would be one of the toughest areas for these Jawans as well. And this is the first visit of Prime Minister Modi after the abrogation of Article 370. So looking for a boost there among the ties with the people there as well, for the Jawans, the kind of connect that they have with the people, and to have Prime Minister Modi celebrate the festival with these Jawans is definitely a welcome move.
Yes, indeed, Pratibha. This, in fact, is a welcome move. And again, talking about the kind of circumstances and talking about the times that the army Jawans really go through in that region, no amount of speaking is really enough, and we cannot really put in words as to what is the kind of odds that the army Jawans face in such high altitudes and in such tough circumstances. In fact, in the recent past, we've had, in fact, even in this year, if we were to really talk about, there have been at least in excess of 2,000 ceasefire violations from across the border, and 29 people have died, and several army Jawans have also been martyred in the ceasefire violations that have been taking place. So it is not an easy job, and it cannot really be a bigger, a gesture cannot get bigger than this, where you have the Prime Minister himself, the first citizen of the country, going to Jammu and Kashmir and meeting the Jawans there. It really goes on to indicate that it's a message that Prime Minister Modi himself is sending out to the army Jawans, that he's there along with them, and he's always standing by them, and he's always the people, the Jawans across the country always have the support of Prime Minister Modi, Pratibha.
Right. Many thanks, Adarsh, for joining us with those details. Prime Minister Modi in Rajouri. These are the visuals from the spot. As is the tradition that Prime Minister Modi follows from 2014, he usually celebrates Diwali with the army Jawans, so this time around as well. And this time around, all the more special because he is in Jammu and Kashmir after the abrogation of Article 370. Well, Prime Minister Modi was in Rajouri of Jammu and Kashmir, where he also interacted with the Jawans, for the Jawans as well, to celebrate the festival without their family members. It comes as quite a boost when Prime Minister Modi decides to celebrate the festival with them. Well, Prime Minister Modi celebrating Diwali at the LOC along with the Jawans. The Prime Minister has also spent his past Diwali festivals with Jawans in different locations along the borders with Pakistan as well as China. Well, in the last 2 months, the area has witnessed a lot of mortar shelling as well, and small arms fire by the Pakistani troops who have been targeting these forward Indian positions. Several civilians have also been targeted in unprovoked actions by Pakistan. So Prime Minister Modi now arriving at Rajouri, also paying respects to those who laid down their lives for the country. Modi has directly flown to the Army Brigade headquarters in the border district to interact with the troops who have been deployed along the line of control. Well, this is the third time that Prime Minister Modi is visiting Jammu and Kashmir to celebrate Diwali with the Jawans, and this is the first visit after the abrogation of Article 370. So this is also a very symbolic visit by the Prime Minister. Well, Prime Minister Modi also visited Pathankot Air Base and interacted with the airmen. This is his first visit since the terror attack of January 2016 on the airbase. Well, Prime Minister Modi started the practice of interacting with troops serving in the tough areas on Diwali immediately after taking over as the Prime Minister, a tradition that he has followed ever since he took over as the Prime Minister of the country. From 2014, almost every year, he celebrates Diwali with troops posted in different regions. In 2014, he began this tradition by spending Diwali at Siachen in the Ladakh region with the Jawans, besides also visiting the flood victims in Srinagar. So that tradition that was started in 2014 still continues. Last year, he had visited the Gurez sector of North Kashmir and spent his Diwali with the soldiers deployed there. This time around, visiting Rajouri as well as Pathankot. And it's a celebration that's taken up with the Jawans. Prime Minister Modi also addressing these Jawans and also interacting with them.